So guys, good morning to everyone. Today I am with Hindu newspaper 29 June. So here from tomorrow today I will try to discuss some important aspects of every news in terms of questions and answers. The first page news: non-traditional trade stock Kolkata Canning corridor. The probable question that might arise from this article is: critically analyze different geopolitical aspects related with BCIM corridor. This might be the question, and if this is the question, how we have to write the answer? The first, we have to give an introduction that what is BCIM corridor, from where to where it connects. Then we have to come to the topic. At first we have to uh, say that how it will help, okay, how it will provide the economic boost, how it will provide a increase the political cooperation, how it will make the all these countries who is prone to danger from different fronts, and how they can stand with unity, okay, as a result of this corridor. Okay, this result will make political unity among them. It will increase political cooperation, it will increase economic cooperation. In this way it will make all the related states stand on a united front. In this way, at first we have to give how it will positively help. Now second thing is that the another aspect is that this corridor might be used for different illegal purposes or different purposes which are vulnerable to the existence of people or vulnerable to the security of the country. The main one of the reasons is that Bangladesh, China, India, these especially in Myanmar, okay, in Myanmar, India, there are different ethnic groups. Okay, these ethnic groups might find a chance to revolt. Okay, it might increase communication among them, among the rebels. Okay, as a result of increasing communication, they are revolt might find a boost. Okay, this communication system might find a chance to be transported different kind of arms. Okay, arms might be transported. This economic corridor might provide a boost for transporting arms from different parts of the world. In this way it might increase insurgency. Yeah, another thing is that it might increase human trafficking, narcotic drug, illegal drugs, illegal arms, cross-border terrorism, human trafficking. In this way, in the third paragraph you have to give give it some threatening aspects, okay, some negative aspects which might be boosted by this corridor. Then after that, you in this case you might give it some key term. Okay, I always told you key term is very important in writing answer. Here the key term is Kokang rebel. Kokang rebel is also known as the Myanmar National Democratic Alliance. It is a rebel group in Myanmar. You have to find out the Google what is Kokang rebel, okay, and you might make a note on the Kokang rebel and you might add a point with Kokang rebel in your answer. In third para, in this way you might give negative aspects. Then after that you have to give a conclusion. Then what conclusion you have to give, and the conclusion is in the actually article. A leading Chinese scholars have proposed setting up a security mechanism and accelerating a legal dialogue among Bangladesh, China, India and Myanmar in order to turn the proposed BCM corridor into an economic reality. Then you have to give a conclusion that increased or integrated security mechanism among all the states are necessary. An institutional setup, first thing is that a security mechanism, and second thing is that institutional setup of security mechanism among the states is necessary to find out a solution that might pose threat to this corridor. In this way we have to give a conclusion in the last para of the answer, means in conclusion. So in this way we have to find out the answer, okay, from every article of Hindu. Another probable question that might arise from another article, page number 2: Orissa to conjure 500 groves. groves. Then now here the first thing is that the question that might arise from the article is that examine the importance of sacred groves in preserving environment, in preservation and in preserving of environment. Now to write an answer for this question, what you have to do, first you have to write what is sacred grove. You have to give you 1 or 2 line introduction. Then you have to write how sacred groves is helpful in preservation of nature in terms of cultural and religious beliefs. How sacred groves are helpful in preserving nature in terms of religious and cultural belief. You have to make some points, or you have to write some lines regarding this point in second para. Then you can write in third para that why the sacred groves are actually controversy, comes into controversy, and in this case you might mention some key terms like the tribe Dongria Kandhe. It is a tribe in Dongria Kand, and it actually prohibits the from establishing industry by Vedanta group. Okay, and this because this because to establish industry by Vedanta group, some sacred groves have to be demolished. Okay, but these sacred groves are very holy, and these sacred groves are believed by this tribe Dongria Kand as a very holy and pristine for their culture. Okay, that's why they prevented Vedanta group from establishing industry. Okay, and here you can write bring the context of Dongria Kand. Okay, and about their awareness. Okay, and how this can be tactfully used. Okay, how this can be tactfully turned for preservation of environment. Okay, and you can add lines how our how Indian culture itself bears some elements in terms for preserving environment in terms of religious. In this way you can add some lines, but after that you have to give a balanced answer also. Though you are asking that though you are asked that the importance of sacred grove in preserving environment, you cannot go totally in favor of that, and you cannot if you go in favor of totally sacred groups, then your answer will not be balanced. That you have to give some reasons also, but for the benefit, if these were but there are some conflict we must have to keep a balance between economy and environment. There are some reasons which are very rich in mineral resources, not only mineral resources, which might be rich in other resources, and exploitation of these resources might be might be beneficial for the entirety of the country. It might boost economic prosperity, economic growth of the whole country. In that case, preserving in that case it might not be used. Mind your language while criticizing. You should not if you write that in your answer, that is why for the boost of economic growth, sometimes the sacred groups should be demolished. Okay, this line will not be appropriate. Always try to use might in your answer. You might write in this way. That's why a compromise might be established between economy and environment. There might be different alternatives while establishing industry, any industry for preserving sacred groves. Government or civil society, an intricate process of government and civil society might help in preservation of sacred groves while balancing while making a balance between economy and environment. And how you might bring some different points. What might be the alternative? The alternatives are the sacred grove might be untouched. Okay, the sacred grove can be untouched by industry. They might be preserved using different ways. In this way, one way environment will also be protected, then another way economic boost will be also increased. In this way you have to give a balanced answer. Though the question asks about the importance of sacred grove, and though the question actually conspired you to write some lines in much more in favor of the topic. You have to add, yes, sacred groups are very important because the dot whatever you have, I already told you how they preserve environment in terms of religious culture and belief, and how this could be tactfully used. In this way you have to write. Then after that also you have to show that if we preserve sacred group, always it might be imbalance, because there is a matter of economic prosperity. There might be some resources in that area which might be whose exploration might be useful for the entirety of the country. In that case we have to think some alternative ways also. Okay, in this way a balance is necessary between environment and economic cooperation. Another important article, bridging the ties with New Silk Road. Here the most possible question that might arise from the article is, do you think that the proposed maritime Silk Road is over dominance of China in Southeast Asia? Or this might be the question. This might be the question that has been. This is the question that might arise by the article. Then what you have to write in your answer, that first I always tell you 1 or 2 line introduction, that what is maritime Silk Road, how from where to where it connects, what is its proposal. Then after that you have to come then what is maritime Silk Road and why it comes into controversy. What is the controversy centering around maritime Silk Road? You might use this argument in second para. Then after that you have to then in this para, why it comes into controversy, you might use some kind of key term. Key term means like string of pearl. There are different key terms like string of pearl. Why it is controversy? Because it is thought that China has used this as a string of pearl. A string of pearl means China, from every side China wants to use the Indian Ocean, Southeast Asian countries like a pearl. It has actually surrounded India or surrounded every Southeast Asian country throughout this maritime Silk Road. China wants to dominate of all the Southeast Asia. Not only Southeast Asia, it wants to extend from Asia to Africa. In this way, China wants to pervade economic dominance of her country. In a second para, you might use this kind of thing. So then after that, you might use another thing, that though there is a political some kind of political situation, or it is politically thought that China is trying to dominate over West Asia, dominate over Asia, or whole Asia, or thereby Africa. But there are some actually economic compilation that actually forces China to do this. We have already you can mention that how the labor intensive or export driven and manufacturing driven economy of China is day by day loosening its grip on world, and as a result of this China is showing economic downfall. And after that, China is now in charge of a new market, a new economy, where the investment will boost its economy. And to fulfill this goal, how China is using this corridor. In this way, in third para, you can say that you might use counter argument for the second para, that though it is said that politically motivated or politically it is thought that it is strong dominance of China, but there are some economic compilations or structural changes of China's economy that has compelled China to make investment growth economy, and which actually necessitates the use of utilization of this corridor. Then in this way you can say that though it is a dominance, but though it might be dominance, but there are also some other factors like economic factor, investment factor. In this way you can say that here. Then after that again you can say that then how India will benefit from it if India join, and how all the other countries like Australia are also willing to join here. Australia, Sri Lanka are willing to join in this project. Then after that you might write, though from the economic viewpoint or investment point of view it is good or it will be beneficial, but there might be some strategic point of view or there might be some strategic trait, and here you can say that how it might be used by the China to dominate all the Southeast Asia towards spreading economic power. After that here in this para you can analyze that what might be the causes, what might be the possible solutions that can be used by India in this regard. Then you might consider here the lookist policy of India, that whether whether a lookist policy of India can compete with this policy of China, whether lookist policy of India has been able to succeed or not. If not succeeded, then why it cannot counter this China's policy, and how it can be improved. In this way you might use different arguments. Then after that you can also think, or you can also bring the point of whether India can think others solution like increasing cooperation with USA, increasing cooperation with Japan to counter this policy of China. What might be the possible impacts on it? Okay, then after that you can also make a positive conclusion. That though there are different traits in from this project, but it is not a colonial era. It is a era of economic cooperation. That India might find you should not the use you will not mind that you should not the use word must and should. Okay, it will be imperative. Instead of you should use the word always might. Okay, then you can write that the India might join the project. Okay, India might join the project. It will improve the boundary problems. It will improve the other problems between the country India and China. And it is not a colonial era. It is not a era of dominance. It is there are different international organizations. UNO, there is UNO, there is international court. There are different countries, international organization who always keep a strict view. So instead of thinking dominance, or instead of engaging some political touchul, or instead of letting other countries gaining benefit from this corridor, India might consider. You have to be very tactical. You cannot say that India should join. You can say that India might consider in joining this project, thinking economic cooperation. Okay, in this way you might have to give a positive conclusion at the end of the answer. Okay, another important article, NGOs, foreign funds and a trust deficit. The most probable question that can be asked from the article is that, do you think that Foreign Contribution Regulation Act to control the NGOs is a right step? Then at first, in what you will write your answer, in your right answer, you have to first write that what is Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. Okay, in 1 or 2 line you have to write what is Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. Then in second para you have to write that why it needs amendment. Then why it needs amendment, you can write that generally. It is said that some NGOs with the help of foreign fund are using and doing anti-national activities. They are against the nature and against the interest of the country, and they are working like agent of foreign companies or agent of foreign countries or foreign organizations. But that's why kind of amendment is needed, foreign contribution needed to regulate the funding. Then again you can say that besides this there are some financial anomalies, the corruption, or there are like corruption, and these for to control such kind of activities also a regulation is necessary. Then after it you can bring a controversy, recent controversy, or that it is said that it is a colonial legacy. In colonial government, what happened? For example, British enacted Public Safety Act to prevent the work of terrorist activity. Whenever British saw that the nationalists or extremists are going to do anything, they actually brought some heinous act for the sake of the country, saying that the works of the people, the works of the activists are against the sake of the government. In this way, it is a colonial legacy. Now you have to, in your third para, you have to bring this context that whether it is a colonial legacy, whether it will curb the constitutional right of freedom of speech, whether it will harm the intricate chain of civil society. In this way, you have to possess some different questions in these cases. Now after that, you have to bring the what are the recent amendments of the Foreign Contribution Regulatory Act. Here you have to mention some key concept, key term. Okay, I always telling you that using of key term might be there in your answer, because only this it will bring marks. And here what will be the key term? That economic security. Economic security is a provision, that is economic security is mentioned in section 2, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. Economic security is a provision mentioned in section 2 of Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, and now this provision is applicable according to the NGO according to the recent amendment. And what is this economic security means? It means that the NGO who are funded by foreign sources, they have to show their sources of funding, they have to show their utilization of funding, they have to show the address and whereabouts of the trustee, and it will be examined by Intelligence Bureau, and this whole process will be included now in case of foreign funding for any NGO. Now you have to give these positive and negative points of this amendment. What are the positive aspect? The positive aspect is that it will bring transparency, it will boost good governance, and transparency and good governance is everywhere necessary. Then after that, what might be the negative impact? The negative impact is that only the for NGO will be included here, because besides NGO there are some religious trustees also, there are some religious organizations who are actually donated by foreign sources. Okay, then who will control them? In this way, you might you have to bring both positive and negative points, and you have to bring both positive and negative context in this regard. Then after that, you have to give a conclusion, or what might be the conclusion, a positive conclusion. I always told you that in conclusion you might have to be very balanced. Okay, then you have to write that though it is necessary to control some anti-nationalist activities of foreign anti-nationalist activities of NGOs funded by foreign sources, but their cautious might be taken. Steps might be taken so that the NGOs which NGOs which honest motives are not harmed, or not harmed or not harassed in this process. Aim should be the aim should be the steps might be taken so that this control is not to harass the purpose, or not to harass or the honest purposes of NGO, but instead it is to control some illegal activities of some NGOs. In this way, you have to bring a positive conclusion with balanced viewpoint in your last conclusion.